Welcome to the MLB Prop Pick Show, powered by the Bat X. We have Game 7 of the World Series tonight, tied 3-3, and I'm joined by two unbiased sports bettors, Joe Osborne and Josh Inglis.
Hey, I'm not a little bit biased. I am a lot biased. Let's go, man. You see this on this bat? What does that say? Joe Carter, 93, World Series home run. Same vibes tonight here, fellas.
Good morning to the chat. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Matt saying we need Debbie there tonight. Jingles already.
I have to bring Debbie out because she won't let me out another night. Yeah, we all need Debbie there tonight. I'm gonna ship my kids over to my parents' house for tonight and see if Debbie wants to join me for a baseball game.
Yeah, Jingles might have jumped the gun there going out for Game 6. Now you got it.
You've overdone it in Game 6.
Yeah, now you got Game 7. You got back to back. You used all the high leverage arms in Game 6. Didn't save any for Game 7. Game 6. Should we talk about what you guys think about lodge balls against the outfield wall, or what are you guys thinking?
I mean, that's just awful luck. I mean, they say sports are like a game of inches or whatever, right? Like, what are the chances of that actually happening? So, I think a lot of Blue Jays fans this morning, or even last night, right after the game, a lot of people acting as if they were up by 2 runs and, they had the game in hand. Yes, they were in an excellent position to tie the game, but I don't necessarily think it was the choke that some are making it out to be, but really bad luck with that lodge ball.
I just stood up. And I knew exactly what they did, right? I'm just like, that's what you teach little league outfielders to do. If that's like a betting edge that you have as an outfielder. You're like, if that ball goes off the wall, he's probably still getting a double, and it's probably runners at second and third, and that guy's still not scoring anyway. And if he does score, then runner at second, and you're down by 1 run. But that's the edge you have as an outfielder, saying, hands up. Oh, it's a park rule, right? The reason why you have coaches and captains before the game. If any balls lodged in the wall, outfielders put your hands up. That will be a double. But hey, let's give Barger credit. Like, people are crapping on Barger. He got an inside the park home run on that play. Like, he crossed the plate, and then he obviously got doubled up. But people are saying that was a little league base running make. I thought the ball was going to get down. That's a tough break. Guy thought maybe he could score. Barger's been good to us, so not going to throw him under the bus. And as Joe said, it's not like we were up 4-1 and threw the game away. We were trying to come back in a game we were trailing the whole time.
Okay, speaking about Barger specifically, because I was thinking about this morning. So World Series MVP odds, I do feel like there's some things there in that the market, because once you move into a Game 7, it feels like someone has a moment in Game 7 they can steal the award. If Barger kind of comes into this game with already doing some important, like the Grand Slam and the other games and stuff, does the getting picked off at second or getting doubled off at second to end that game, if he does something big tonight, does that hurt him in this market, in this game? Like, can you overlook that and be like, he still had big games? Or do you think that kind of hurts him in that market because of how Game 6 ended?
I think you absolutely overlook it. If he comes up and gets 2 hits tonight, drives a couple in, maybe scores a couple, and the Blue Jays win, I think, 100% you would overlook it, I think.
I'm looking at the odds right now, and there's only
like
there's only 4 people who aren't 100 to 1, and he's number 4 right now, 35 to 1. And we were talking off air. Yamamoto. If Yamamoto pitches this game, like, it sounds crazy, but like, there maybe Dave Roberts didn't pitch him 120 innings or 120 pitches last night because of that. Like, if he closes the door today, he's winning MVP.
I think Dave Roberts, once he brought in Tyler Glasnow, you're like, there's a plan for Game 7 that we're not aware of, that he obviously feels comfortable that he can use Glasnow now. And it does look like it's Ohtani starting, which makes sense, because if you bring him as a reliever, you would lose the DH. I think that's the rule, and he'd have to go to the outfield. That's their timeout. But if he starts the game, it's like the Ohtani rule. They keep the DH, he stays in it. So you can kind of see why they flip Glasnow and Ohtani there. So it does feel like they're probably going to go Ohtani to start, Glasnow behind him. Glasnow only threw, what was it, 3 pitches? Eight warm-up pitches. So he's fine. So then he comes in, and then like, is Snell? I feel like Snell's probably on the table for a little relief.
Hey,
and then maybe
as a Blue Jays fan, I hope Snell is available for a little bit of relief.
Yeah, so it does look like he's probably setting it up with all starters, is kind of how the Dodgers might roll through this. And
the bullpen sucks.
Obviously they don't. And you're talking about before we came out, Sasaki is not not doing great in the postseason.
No, and he's also a guy who just doesn't have the experience, who you could tell that like the moment was big for him. And I don't know if he has those closer vibes at all. I think he's, I don't know, this is an odd thing to say about a human being. I don't know. I think he's kind of soft for the moment.
Yeah. Yes, let's not forget about him. This is a guy who, remember, he cried in the dugout to start the season. Then he goes from that, and that's not really, he's a young guy, whatever. He goes from that to these ultra high leverage spots in the most high pressure situations in the sport. And he doesn't have a whole, what is he, 23 years old? Like, let's be serious. So I won't completely kill the guy. But yeah, the moment's a bit too big for him. And he probably won't be available tonight.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be available. I think you're right, Jingles. I think Yamamoto might be more emergency on the back end of the bullpen, but maybe it does feel like it's on the table.
Ohtani rule sucks right now. Now's a good time to complain about it. And you bring up a good point. Like, if he has to start, because if you bring him in, then it changes everything. But because the entire league changed the rules so they could see their unicorn pitch, their degenerate gambler unicorn pitch, and that's another story. I just think there's so
went
much
away pretty quickly.
No, it's
got buried.
Yeah, I don't know. It's they love him so much. I think he's gotten away with a bit much, and I love him for baseball, but let's be honest, he's allowed to do whatever he wants.
Nick Pro saying Dodgers pen also hasn't really pitched well all postseason. They're even colder than normal. Yeah, I feel like once you're Dave Roberts and you start fading them and not even using them in those spots, Now you can't. You've made your bed. You have to lay in it. Like he's already decided they're not pitching these games. Chris McCauley saying not feeling the most comfortable with Max starting, considering what Ohtani did against him last night. I gotta be honest. I feel like of any pitcher in all baseball, if there's someone who I would want to meet the moment, it's Max Scherzer. Even if he doesn't have A+ stuff, even for like 2-3 innings, I feel like he's one of those guys who just goes out. He's a psycho. He goes on the mound, and the moment won't matter to him. So, you guys feel comfortable with Max Scherzer starting this one?
No. I haven't been comfortable with the Blue Jays from game one of the regular season. That's kind of been like a theme of my fandom. But Scherzer, you've seen him at times a little shaky in the playoffs, even going back to his time with the Nationals. When he was with the Dodgers, he got lit up in a game as well. But he's been okay. He's been, I guess you could say, above average. He's gotten some double plays that have really helped him here during this Blue Jays playoff run. I don't think he's going to go out there and get lit up by any means. Just as a fan in my heart, it's hard to feel 100% comfortable with any type of situation here tonight. But I do like that he pitched that game 7 when the Nationals beat the Astros. What was that, 2019 in that World Series, I think. So I do like that experience for him for sure against, this kind of patched together Dodgers pitching situation, I guess you could call it tonight.
Yeah, it's definitely patched together. I feel like this is going to be
best $15 million guy you could have on the mound in Game 7 of the World Series. Let's be honest, right? At the end of the day, it's a hell of a discount for what we're getting from Max Scherzer. And like you said, give me one time through the order. If that's whatever Schneider's blueprint is for Max today, I'm okay with it. I don't want him to see Ohtani twice, but I'm happy that he's starting to settle the crowd down, because those first 3 outs are the most important, because it carries over the momentum of the fans who are so hyped that have been in there for 2 to 3 hours already. And if you give up a run in the first inning, the air comes out of that building quick.
Yeah, it does feel like you go back to the offseason when they sign him, you're like, why is Max Scherzer going to Toronto? And it looks like a great spot now, right? Game 7 World Series, he's making the start. So I agree with you. I think the pitching is kind of going to be shaky on both sides. It's going to be huge patchwork. Jingles, you like a lot of runs in this one. You want to break down your bet?
Yeah, let's say the best format here for either side is starting pitching. And that's just going to be piggyback after piggyback. I'm still happy with in Game 7 where both bats have seen all these pitchers. And if either manager goes to the bullpen, then I'm happy for the over here. Over 8, -105. I want to see run, and it sounds not the way it should go on a Game 7, and it should be a close game. Outside of Yamamoto, no one on the Dodgers staff scares me as a pitcher right now. And on the Jays side, we've given up runs with some of our best pitching. Gausman was electric to start that game, and he gave up some runs. And it's only been Gausman and Savage who have absolutely dominated. Other guys have shown warts. There's probably going to be some walks from Schneider to put Ohtani on. You saw that it doesn't work very well sometimes and can come back and kick you in the butt. But this is a spot where I think both teams can score 3 runs. This is a spot where guys are going to see a pitcher. If Snell comes in, they've seen him, 7, 8 at-bats in some spots. Dave Roberts hates his bullpen. And he hasn't pitched them, and it's not like, okay, I hate you. Okay, I need you in game 7 of the bottom of the 9th or the bottom of the 8th. It's not going to happen. So we're probably going to see starters, familiarity factors through the roof. And I just think both of these lineups right now, what they do, they put in Rojas. Rojas will probably start at second base and bat 9, so we don't have the Andy Pajes situation. Rojas looked a little better. And I liked the Jays lineup last night. That was probably the best Jays lineup, and George looked like he was still hurting, but like that guy's still swinging 110%, and Bo's looking a little healthy.
Yeah. Speaking of George Springer, Joe, you want to break down your bet? You got one for Springer, and you got a money line bet.
Well, why don't I do the money line first? Let's go to meat and potatoes here first. So yes, obviously I am extremely biased. I'm taking the Blue Jays to win Game 7. This is the team of my youth. This is in my heart tonight. But all that said, if you break down everything, if you break down all the numbers, and if you look at the game situation, the Blue Jays as an underdog at home here, I think this is a really good bet here. So I think the pitching sets up a lot better for the Blue Jays tonight in a game where we're going to see a lot of arms for both teams. Ohtani got rocked in Game 4 against the Jays. 4 earned runs, 7 base runners allowed. They also had success against Glasnow. I think we're going to see him tonight. They got 8 on base, scored 4 against him. I love that Scherzer's pitched in a Game 7 before. He's got Bieber and Macho Man Trey Savage to back him up. Bullpens in the series. Blue Jays bullpen's been really good in the series at 2.51 ERA. Dodgers 3.65. And then offensively, guys, it's not even really close from what we've seen from these teams in the World Series. Jays have an OPS that's 99 points higher than the Dodgers, who are hitting 191 in the series. And then you look at home away hitting splits in the postseason. Jays have an 820 OPS at home. Dodgers 665 on the road. There is a tax if you want to bet the big bad Dodgers. I know they got all the big names, but the Blue Jays at plus 126 at home in a game where I think they have a lot of advantages. I think that's a really good bet.
You want to?
That's it.
You want to break down? You want to break down the George Springer one too? You got Springer for
So let's go with a prop here. My favorite market. Last time I'll bet this season. Let's go with the big dog here, the former World Series MVP, ultra clutch, ultra consistent. Springer 2+ hits, runs, RBIs, plus 102 odds. Bet that over at DraftKings this morning. So really consistent, really good numbers versus Dodgers pitching too. 15 career at-bats against Ohtani. He has a 4.67 batting average, 2 home runs, 16 career at-bats against Glasnow, a 3.75 batting average, 9.74 OPS. He's hitting 3.33 in this series. And here's the thing. He's reached or topped this number in 11 of 15 playoff games. This is a big game performer. He's so consistent. Expect Springer to be in the mix tonight, and back him to have 2 or more hits, runs, or RBIs.
Russian 05 in the chat, Buddy 9 before the playoffs, both bet the Jays to win the World Series at plus 850. Didn't hedge. Let's go, Joe. Jays to win tonight. We saw it was Bet99. They said they have huge liability because it was 75-1 before the season started.
Some early stuff, yeah, some 4-figure stuff.
They said it's just some nibbles. I saw Covers tweeted that out. It was just some nibbles, but then they said about mid-season they took a bunch of money at 18-1. So a lot of Blue Jays futures sitting out there at some pretty big numbers. So could see some fun tickets tonight if they cash that. I have 2 home run props.
Ooh.
And they're both on Dodgers players. So I'm going Mookie Betts to hit home run. You look at how this was basically how I think the pitching staffs will break out tonight. I think you're going to see Shane Bieber, Chris Bassett, Scherzer, and then Hoffman. I think those are 4 pitchers for the Blue Jays are guaranteed to come into this game. And Mookie Betts has home runs off Hoffman. He has a home run off Scherzer. He has home runs he has 1 home run off Bieber. He has been ice cold in this series, but I feel like last night you get that hit, you knock in the 2 runs. It's one of those things that stops a player from pressing. It might unlock his bat. And what I really like about how this is set up, how they've set up the lineup, especially for last night, was you have Ohtani at the top. If you walk him or you're careful with him, then he's followed up by Will Smith, Freddie Freeman, and Mookie Betts. And you're in this spot where you have to pitch to some of them. You saw them intentionally walk Will Smith behind Ohtani last night, and then it went to Freeman and Betts. If you're bringing in lefties, it kind of sets up for Ohtani. It's, they have to stay in for a certain amount of batters. So it kind of sets up nicely for Mookie Betts too in a bunch of spots. So plus 550, I felt like this should be closer to about plus 500, not the biggest of edges, but he is someone who has a lot of history in Rogers Center, obviously spent a lot of time in the AL East. I don't know. I just feel like that single last night really unlocks his bat. So I'm going to take Mookie Betts to hit a home run. I'm also going Freddie Freeman to hit a home run plus 550. Actually, Mookie Betts was plus 600 at FanDuel. Freddie Freeman was plus 550. So I think I switched that around. So Mookie Betts is plus 600 at FanDuel. Freddie Freeman was plus 550 at Fanatics or PointsBet, depending on where you live. Freddie Freeman, it's pretty much the same vibe where he has 3 home runs off Scherzer, probably only be 1 at bat, but then he has a home run off Bassett. He has home runs off Hoffman. He has a home run off Bieber. So these are all guys who are coming into these games. So when you look at it, you're like the entirety of who you think he's going to face. He has good matchups across the board. You don't really see, like, his Fluharty's pretty much the only lefty who's going to come in. And Freddie Freeman's fine against lefties too. So I feel like this sets up where he is in the lineup, who they might have to pitch to him. This was like a pretty good edge too. It was like projections had this closer to plus 460. So I'm going to take Freddie Freeman to hit a home run there. I just like all the matchups he's going to get. I'm not totally fading the Blue Jays here because I did place 2 futures bets for World Series MVP. First one's Ernie Clement, 300 to 1. This is at Bet 99. Is that Jingle's laughing in the background? I think you come into a game 7 with the World Series MVP market, and pretty much not anyone, but like if you have a big moment in this game, it's really going to stand out. If you have a big hit in a game 5, game 6, and that's when your team wins, I don't think it's as impactful as a game 7. I feel like everything's kind of on the table. So if you're wondering why I bet 2 Dodgers to hit home runs and not for them in the World Series MVP market, I have 2 Blue Jays in the World Series MVP market. It's because even if Freeman or Mookie Betts hits home runs in this game, I feel like Ohtani's starting the game on the mound, and then what he's done with the bat, I feel like that's going to be really tough to beat on the Dodgers side. So I don't even know if a home run from those guys would win it for them. But a home run from Ernie Clement and the other guys, Alejandro Kirk, 100 to 1. A home run from either one of these guys, I feel like they're right behind Vladdy. They've both had moments throughout this game, throughout this series. Vladdy's clearly the front runner, but when you're giving me a 300 to 1 and 100 to 1, I'm going to take it. I just feel like both these players have done enough throughout the entire series that if they came into this game, like if Ernie Clement has a bases clearing double or Alejandro Kirk hits a 3-run homer, I feel like they're kind of live, and you're telling me it's 100 to 1, 300 to 1. So a 300 to 1 for Ernie Clement was at Bet 99, and he's about 100 to 1 everywhere else. So throw $5 at it, pays 1,500, whatever it is. It's just taking 2 stabs here. So I kind of got bets on both sides here. There is a lot of long prices for World Series MVP. Is any long shots you guys like, or have you looked at the market, or anyone who you think maybe has the one guy I was trying to figure out was Yamamoto was like 7 to 1. If he comes into this game,
if he pitches,
if he pitches a scoreless inning and the Dodgers win, I think you give it to him.
Yeah, I feel like he might even have the argument, even if he doesn't play in this game. But I feel like it's so tough to not be a part of a game 7 and still win World Series MVP. But there, like Jingle was saying, there's a ton of guys. Like Mookie Betts is sitting on there like 400 to 1 in some of those markets. So there's a lot of guys at really long prices where if they came into this game and if maybe they go 3 for 4, a bunch of RBIs, I don't know. I just felt like that was a market worth digging into. So maybe go look at that.
James Ferguson says play 649. Never. Don't play 649. I could draw you up a better $5 million winning parlay that has a better chance at winning than you winning the 649.
That's a lottery in Canada, by the way. Everyone's confused what you're talking about. So lotto ticket. Yeah. I always look at lotto tickets. I'm like, I feel like you're way better off building a huge.
That's it. Right? Like if you could just if you set up your booth next to the scratch tickets at the corner store and took 5% of SGP earnings. Yeah, you could probably make some money. I think
I have an issue when I'm at the convenience store or gas station. And I see the sign. It says $50 million draw. Then I get a feeling. It's like, well, you should buy one. You got this feeling. You might as well buy. And I do this and I buy one, and you don't win shit all the time. I don't know if other people can relate to that, but
I had a buddy who got 6 of 7 numbers.
Wow,
$4,000.
Good for him. Good for everybody.
Did you guys see? I think the Jays 50-50 was like 12 million last night.
Joe Carty will call you and say,
12 million for the 50-50 there. But last topic here. Jays to win the World Series. You never thought you would have been here before the season started. Game 7. You can't ask for much more. If I told you back on opening day the Jays would be in Game 7 of the World Series against the Dodgers and could win it at home, you would absolutely be thrilled. I would like to know who you want to see pitch tonight for the Jays. What's your dream order? Like what relief pitchers do you want to see in what order? Who do you want on the mound to close it out? I can start with you, Jingles, or Joe, whoever wants to go first here.
Brendan Little, first out of the bullpen.
That's probably what his Otani's translator is saying. Brendan Little please. On the opener to start the game.
No, it will be the same guys. You'll see. There's only 3 arms he kind of trusts. There's 4 arms, right? Fluharty will just do the lefty stuff. Varland just has a lot of trust, more trust than I have in Varland. And then I know Sir Anthony pitched yesterday, but his stuff's pretty nasty still, so he could get a go in Hoffman. So there's your 4 guys. But then outside of the starters, then you have Max to start, Bieber piggyback, and then can anybody else, any other starter pitch? Savage, yeah. But I would hate to put him in that moment.
That was my next question.
I hate to put him in that moment and it fails, and you throw away everything that he's built. I think
you got to risk it though. You got to put everything on the table, I think, and that's a guy. Like, as a fan of this team, I would. It's been a while since the Jays have had like a big time superstar pitcher, right? Like, they got Vladdy at the plate, and people can debate how good he is. I mean, he's fully worth the money, obviously, now based on what he's done in the postseason. But I would love to see him in this spot and become that big-time Jays #1 starter for the next 10 years. You know, it's been a while, just 22 years old. I think it's a good story. So overall, my thoughts as a fan, the vibes were awful coming into the season for the Blue Jays. People remember the Vladdy contract situation. People made fun of it. He got overpaid, damned if you do, damned if you don't. They overperformed in the regular season. I didn't necessarily think they were going to make the playoffs. I liked them to beat the Yankees. When they went down 0-2 versus the Mariners, a lot of people checked out. Can you blame them losing the first 2 games at home? Then they had that moment in Game 5 versus the Mariners where they blew that one. They come back and win. They bounce back from the 18-inning loss versus the Dodgers. And a lot of people are saying they can't bounce back based on what happened last night. This is a team where momentum has not mattered. They're playing with house money. They're not supposed to be here. So either way, if they lose tonight, it is a win for the Blue Jays this season as a whole, because they weren't supposed to be here. But it would be an incredible moment. People in the U.S. might not realize, like, it's so cool. The entire country gets behind the Blue Jays. I'm walking down the street, bringing my kids to school, wearing a Blue Jays hoodie, complete strangers. Let's go Blue Jays. It's really cool. So things are pretty tight here in Canada today.
The entire country's a little bit of a stretch. I live in Canada.
Oh God,
I'm a Tigers fan, so not necessarily
moved to America already. But
yeah, but no, it is an exciting story for them. But I feel like at this point you got to win it. Like, I know it's like the season feels like a success, but you're so close to winning the World Series. This is crazy.
Back on the Trey thing. Like, if Trey doesn't have that splitter, then he's not an effective pitcher. Like, let's be honest here. If that splitter's not working, then he's kind of very hittable, and maybe off short rest that splitter's not going. And we've seen a lot of splitters. Another reason why I like runs today. Hopefully no more splitter pitchers today, because those are the ones that keep it under.
All right, we will leave it at that. Those are our picks for Game 7 of the World Series. Enjoy the game. Should be a great game. If you're not rooting for the Blue Jays or the Dodgers, I feel like as a baseball fan, this is one of those games that you just love to watch. If you're a Blue Jays or Dodgers fans, you're going to be very stressed in this one. So good luck with your bets. Enjoy the game. It's been a fun baseball season, and we'll see you guys next year for the baseball season.
See you guys.